6 months ago, I walked into a coin shop with $200 in my pocket, zero knowledge in my head, and a gut feeling that something was very wrong with the financial system. I didn't know what spot price meant. I didn't know the difference between a round and a coin. I didn't know what a premium was, why it existed, or how badly it could destroy your returns if you bought wrong. I didn't know that the dealer behind the counter, the guy smiling at me, the guy who seemed so helpful, was about to sell me one of the worst possible silver products for a beginner. I didn't know that the coin I bought that day, the one I was so proud of, the one I posted on Reddit like I had just discovered fire, that coin carried a 47% premium over the actual silver value. 47%. I paid $37, $12 for a coin containing $25.24 worth of silver. And I didn't even realize it. Nobody told me. Nobody warned me. And every YouTube video I watched before walking into that shop was either trying to sell me something or was so technical that it might as well have been written in Mandarin. So today, I'm going to do what nobody did for me. I'm going to tell you everything I learned in 6 months of buying silver. Every mistake, every lesson, every moment where I almost got ripped off, every moment where I actually did get ripped off. And by the end of this video, you will know more than 90% of the people who walk into a coin shop for the first time. You will know more than most people who have been stacking for years, because most stackers learn by losing money. I'm going to save you that tuition. Let me start with the biggest mistake, because this is the one that costs beginners the most money, and nobody talks about it honestly. The mistake is buying pretty silver instead of cheap silver. Let me explain. When you first get into silver, everything looks amazing. You see these beautiful coins with eagles and maple leafs and kangaroos and libertads. You see proof coins in fancy boxes. You see limited edition rounds with skulls and pirates and American flags. You see colorized coins. You see coins with certificates of authenticity. And your brain, your dumb, emotional, brand new stacker brain says, I want that one, the pretty one, the shiny one, the one in the velvet box. And that is the moment you lose, because silver is silver. An ounce is an ounce. The silver in a $29 Buffalo round is identical to the silver in a $55 proof American Eagle. Same purity, same weight, same 0.999 fine silver. The only difference is the premium. And premium is the silent killer of silver investing. Let me break this down with real numbers because I want this to hurt. I want you to feel this the way I felt it when I finally understood what I had done. 6 months ago, spot silver was approximately $25.24 per ounce. I bought my first coin, an American Silver Eagle, from a local coin shop for $37.12. That is a premium of $11.88 over spot. That is a 47% markup. Now, let's say silver goes up 20% over the next year. Spot moves from $25.24 to $30.29. Great, right? Silver went up. I should be making money. But am I? Let's see. If I try to sell that eagle back to the same dealer, he's going to offer me spot plus maybe $3. So he offers me $33.29. I paid $37.12. I lost $3.83 per coin, even though silver went up 20%. I need silver to go up nearly 40% just to break even. 40% on a metal that averaged 4% annual returns over the last decade. That means at historical average returns, I would need to hold that coin for nearly 10 years just to get my money back. 10 years of waiting to break even. That is not investing. That is donating money to a coin dealer and hoping the market bails you out. Now here's what I should have bought. Generic silver rounds, buffalo rounds, secondary market rounds, sunshine mint rounds, whatever the cheapest 0.999 silver is on the shelf. 6 months ago, I could have bought generic rounds for $27.50. That is a premium of $2.26 over spot. That is a 9% markup. If silver goes up the same 20%, spot hits $30.29. The dealer buys my generic rounds at spot plus $1. He offers me $31.29. I paid $27.50. I made $3.79 per ounce profit. Same silver, same weight, same purity. But one scenario loses $3.83 and the other makes $3.79. The difference is $7.62 per ounce. And if I had spent my entire $200 $100 on generic rounds instead of eagles, the difference in outcome would have been compounded across every single ounce. The premium is not just a markup, it is a tax on ignorance. It is the price you pay for not understanding what you are buying. And every single coin dealer in the world is counting on you not understanding it. Now, I need to be fair here because there are situations where paying a higher premium makes sense, and I learned this the hard way too, just from the other direction. Let me explain. About 2 months into my stacking journey, I went full cheap mode. I only bought the absolute lowest premium silver I could find. I was buying secondary market rounds from random mints I had never heard of. I was buying bars from companies with names that sounded like they were generated by an AI. I was buying silver on eBay from sellers with 47 feedback scores. I was being penny wise and pound foolish. And then one day I tried to sell some of those rounds to a different dealer than where I bought them. He picked one up, looked at it, looked at me, and said, "I don't know this mint. I can offer you spot minus $2. Spot minus $2. He was going to charge me $2 per ounce just to take it off my hands because he didn't recognize the brand. And that is when I learned lesson number 2. Liquidity matters more than premium. Let me say that again because this will save you thousands of dollars over your stacking career. Liquidity matters more than premium. What does that mean? It means you need to buy silver that other people want to buy. Silver that dealers recognize. Silver that has a market. Silver that you can walk into any coin shop in America and sell within 5 minutes without an argument. That means sticking to well-known products. American silver eagles, yes, carry a high premium, but they are the most liquid silver coin in the world. Every dealer wants them. Every collector wants them. They sell instantly. Canadian silver maple leafs, slightly lower premium, almost as liquid. Generic rounds from recognized mints like Sunshine, Silvertown, Asahi, Buffalo Design, these are the sweet spot. Low premium, high recognition, instant liquidity. Here is my rule now, and I wish someone had told me this on day 1. For your first 100 ounces, buy nothing but generic rounds from recognized mints. Keep your premiums under $3 over spot. Build your base, get your weight up. Don't worry about variety, don't worry about collectability, don't worry about pretty, just stack weight. After 100 ounces, once you have a solid foundation of cheap liquid silver, then you can start buying some government coins if you want. Some eagles, some maples, some Britannias. Treat those as your savings account. The generics are your checking account. And if you want to buy some premium collectible stuff, some proof coins, some limited editions, some Perth Mint Lunars, fine. But limit that to 10% of your total stack. That is your speculation money. That is your fun money. And if those premiums never come back, you won't care because 90% of your stack is low premium, high liquidity, pure weight. Let me talk about the third mistake, because this one almost broke me psychologically. I am not exaggerating. This one nearly made me sell everything and walk away from silver entirely. The mistake is checking the spot price every day. When I bought my first coin, I immediately downloaded 3 different apps that tracked the silver price. I set up alerts, I checked the price when I woke up, I checked it at lunch, I checked it before bed, I checked it at 2 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. And what happened? Silver dropped. Of course it dropped, because silver is volatile. Silver can move 3% in a day, 8% in a week, 15% in a month. And when you're new, when your entire stack is worth $200 and you watch it drop to $178, your brain panics. You think you made a mistake. You think silver is going to zero. You think everyone who told you to buy was lying. You think you're the biggest idiot alive. And that panic, that emotional reaction, is exactly what the manipulators are counting on. Let me explain this because once you understand it, you will never panic again. The COMEX silver price, the spot price you see on your screen, is not determined by physical supply and demand. It is determined by paper trading, futures contracts, algorithms, bank trading desks. The spot price is set by people who have never held an ounce of silver in their lives. They are trading electrons. They are trading contracts that represent silver that may or may not exist. And they use those contracts to manipulate the price. When the bullion banks want the price to drop, they dump thousands of contracts in seconds. We are talking about 50 million ounces of paper silver hitting the market in under a minute during the thinnest trading hours. When there are no physical buyers present to absorb the volume, the price crashes, stops get triggered, retail traders panic. They sell their physical to the dealer at a loss. The dealer melts it down and sends it to a refinery. The refinery ships it to Shanghai, and China picks up more cheap silver courtesy of your panic. That is how the game works. That is why they suppress the price. Not because silver is worthless, because silver is incredibly valuable and they need you to let go of it cheaply so they can acquire it. Once I understood this, everything changed. I stopped checking the price. I deleted the apps. I set a simple rule. I buy silver on the same day every month regardless of price. Dollar cost averaging, the same strategy that every financial advisor recommends for stocks, but nobody tells you to do with metals. Some months I buy at $26. Some months I buy at $32. Some months I buy at $29. Over time, my average cost smooths out. I stop worrying about timing. I stop worrying about dips. I stop worrying about manipulation. I just accumulate consistently, relentlessly, like China. That is the strategy. That is how you win. Not by timing the bottom, not by watching charts, not by reading every conspiracy thread on Reddit at midnight. You win by buying regularly, buying cheap, and holding forever. Because silver is not a trade. Silver is a position. It is a position against currency debasement, a position against institutional fraud, a position against the entire paper financial system. And positions don't have stop losses. Positions don't get sold on a dip. Positions get added to, month after month, year after year, until the thesis plays out. And the thesis that the dollar is being destroyed, that paper markets are fraudulent, that physical commodities are undervalued, that the East is accumulating while the West is liquidating, that thesis has never been stronger than it is right now. Let me talk about storage, because this is where beginners get paranoid and make expensive mistakes. When I first started stacking, I was terrified of someone stealing my silver. I bought a $400 safe. I bolted it to the floor. I bought a security camera. I told nobody. I was acting like I had $50,000 in the house when I had $200 worth of silver in a safe that cost twice as much as the metal inside it. That is insanity. Here is the reality. For your first $5,000 worth of silver, a simple fireproof lockbox in your closet is fine, not a $400 safe. A $45 lockbox from Walmart, hide it somewhere boring, behind cleaning supplies, under old clothes, in the garage behind paint cans. Burglars spend an average of 8 minutes in a house. They go for electronics, jewelry boxes, master bedroom nightstand, and the obvious safe. They don't dig through your laundry room. They don't check the bottom of a filing cabinet full of tax returns from 2009. Don't overthink it. Once your stack exceeds $5,000, consider a real safe, bolted down, fire-rated, hidden, and once your stack exceeds $25,000, consider splitting it between home storage and a private vault, not a bank safe deposit box. Banks can restrict access during a crisis. They can freeze accounts. They have business hours. A private vault like a metals depository gives you 24/7 access with insurance and segregated storage. But that's a problem for later. Right now, if you're just starting, stop spending more on storage than on silver. The goal is to accumulate metal, not security equipment. Now let me talk about where to buy, because this was another area where I made costly mistakes. My first purchase was at a local coin shop. The experience was great. The dealer was friendly. He educated me. He showed me different products. He let me hold a 10-ounce bar for the first time, and I felt like a pirate. But his premiums were brutal. He was charging $6 over spot on Eagles, $4 over spot on generic rounds, and $5 over spot on 10-ounce bars. That is retail markup. He has rent. He has employees. He has insurance. He has to make a profit. I don't blame him. But I was paying for his overhead with every purchase. After my first month, I started buying online, and the difference was staggering. The same generic rounds that cost $29.50 at my local shop were $27.80 online. The same 10-ounce bars that cost $30.24 per ounce locally were $28.40 per ounce online. Over a 100-ounce purchase, that is a difference of $150 to $180. That is real money. That is 5 more ounces of silver I could have bought. Here are the dealers I use now, and I am not being paid to say this. APMEX, largest selection, slightly higher premiums but massive inventory and reliable shipping. JM Bullion, competitive premiums. Good sales, fast delivery, SD Bullion, often the lowest premiums online. Less selection but the best prices on generic silver. Bold precious metals, underrated, great prices on secondary market stuff. And Hero Bullion. Newer but aggressive on pricing. Check all of them before you buy. Prices change daily. One dealer might be $0.50 cheaper on rounds, but $1 more expensive on bars. Compare. Every dollar you save on premium is $1 more in silver. One more thing about buying, and this is critical. Pay with check or bank wire, not credit card. Most online dealers charge 3% to 4% more for credit card purchases. That wipes out any premium savings you found by shopping around. I learned this after my second online order when I realized I had paid an extra $31 in credit card fees on an $800 order. That is another ounce of silver I could have bought. Pay by check. Wait the extra 3 days for it to clear. Your future self will thank you. Let me talk about the emotional journey because nobody prepares you for this, and it's the part that makes most new stackers quit. Month 1, you are euphoric. You just discovered real money. You hold that first coin and you feel powerful. You feel like you know something nobody else knows. You watch YouTube videos for 6 hours a day. You read every silver blog. You tell your friends. They look at you like you have 3 heads. Month 2, the price drops. You question everything. You wonder if you got scammed. You wonder if silver is a boomer relic. You stop watching videos because they make you anxious. You think about selling and buying Bitcoin instead. Month 3, you find the community. You find the Reddit threads. You find the YouTube channels that actually explain what's happening. You start understanding manipulation. You start understanding premiums. You start understanding the difference between paper and physical. The anxiety fades. It gets replaced by conviction. Month 4, you stop caring about the daily price. You start caring about ounces. Your mindset shifts from how much is my silver worth in dollars to how many ounces do I have. That shift, that psychological transformation, is the moment you become a real stacker. Because you stop measuring your wealth in a currency that is being printed into oblivion. You start measuring it in something that cannot be printed. Something that has been money for 5,000 years. Something that every civilization in human history has recognized as valuable. That is the moment you break free from the matrix. And it took me 4 months to get there. I'm trying to get you there in 20 minutes. Month 5, you get strategic. You learn about the gold to silver ratio. You learn about constitutional silver, junk silver, pre-1965 dimes and quarters that contain 90% silver and trade at low premiums. You learn about weight versus collectability. You develop a system, a monthly budget, a preferred dealer, a preferred product. You become efficient. Month 6, which is where I am now, you realize something profound. Silver isn't just a metal. It isn't just an investment. It is a philosophy. It is a rejection of a system designed to extract wealth from the many and concentrate it in the few. It is a statement. It is a declaration that you will not be a passive victim of monetary policy, that you will not watch your savings evaporate while central bankers print trillions to bail out banks and hedge funds. That you will take responsibility for your own financial survival. That is what silver represents, not just a shiny disc, a shield, a vote, a middle finger to everyone who told you the system was fair. Let me give you my current strategy because this is what I would do if I were starting over today with everything I know now. Budget. I allocate 10% of my monthly income to silver. Not 50%, not everything I have. 10%. Enough to build consistently without putting my family at risk. If you make $4,000 a month, that is $400 in silver. That is roughly 12 ounces per month at current prices. That is 144 ounces per year. In 5 years, that is 720 ounces. At even a modest price target of $50, that is $36,000 in real assets. Untraceable, unconfiscatable, uninflatable, product mix, 70% generic rounds from recognized mints, lowest premium, highest liquidity, 20% government coins, Eagles, Maples, Britannias. Higher premium but universally recognized and IRA eligible, 10% whatever I want. Collectible rounds, vintage bars, constitutional junk silver. This is the fun part. This is what keeps stacking enjoyable so I don't burn out. Buying schedule, same day every month. I pick the 15th. I don't look at the price first, I just buy. Dollar cost averaging removes emotion. It removes the paralysis of, should I wait for a dip? Just buy. Every month, storage, diversified, some at home in a hidden location, some in a private vault outside the banking system. Never all in one place, never in a bank. And I keep a detailed inventory spreadsheet with purchase dates, prices, premiums, and quantities. Not because I'm obsessive, because when I eventually sell or trade some of this silver, I need to know my cost basis for taxes. Here's what I wish someone had told me 6 months ago in one sentence. Buy the cheapest recognized silver you can find, buy it consistently, ignore the daily price, and hold it until the system forces you to use it. That's it. That is the entire strategy. Everything else is noise. Everything else is designed to complicate a simple process so that dealers, influencers, and institutions can extract money from you. Don't let them. Buy cheap. Buy consistent. Hold long. And trust the metal. 6 months ago, I was a guy with $200 and a dream. Today, I'm a guy with a stack that I will never sell for dollars. I'll trade it for land. I'll trade it for food. I'll trade it for freedom. But I will never give it back to the paper system because the paper system is a burning building and silver is the exit. The only question is whether you walk through that exit now while it's still open or whether you wait until the smoke is so thick you can't find it. This is John Cashflow. Start stacking, start today, and I'll see you in the next one.